Hi, Takumi Yoshida. Man, that was quick. You're all over that comment right there. We'll let everyone jump into the chat before we start answering questions. Hope everyone's doing well tonight. There we go. Hello, everyone. Hi, Dimitri. Hi, Takumi. You were the first one on. You're right. Gators Baseball, what's up? Plenty of trick shots. Hi, Kyle. Hi, Junior. Hello, Frank and B. Moore. What's up, King? SP Cody, how do you break your glove in? Take a mallet and just beat the crap out of it. Hi, Kyle. Elias, hello. Doing great. How are you? Hey, Braves fan. Hi, Scott. Dodgers, what's up? I am into stocks. Yes, I've been in stocks pretty much since I got drafted. How about Bauer, huh? Dodgers. Padres fans are just, they were so pumped, and now they're probably a little disappointed. Just came from practice? Cool. Our practice got snowed out tonight. Still no desk. Desk comes tomorrow, actually, 8 a.m. They got the desk coming and a bookshelf, so I will have my desk tomorrow. Right now I'm using like a little tiny stand over there. I'm not sure if a player ever intentionally hit me. I'm not sure. It's a good question. Do I put mayonnaise on my sandwiches? I do. Takumi, what are you talking about? Your practice was canceled. You practiced last night like 16 times. How do you get noticed by scouts if you're in a small town? I don't really think the town matters. Especially in 2021, if you're that good that scouts are going to notice you. Do you mean, what kind of scouts do you mean? College scouts or professional scouts? Especially professional scouts. They'll find somebody that's from like East Bum, you know what? Did I hate autograph hounds in the MLB? I just kind of get used to signing every day. So, and I was never a player that was so great that I had to sign like 1,000 autographs a game. I'd have to sign a couple autographs every game, but nothing crazy. Hey, Tom August, thank you so much for the super chat. Would you ever do sports radio like WEEI? I think you and Lou Merloni would be awesome to listen. Yeah, Lou, let's go. I actually met Lou because we played in a charity baseball game together. I was a third baseman, he was a shortstop. He seemed like a really nice guy. Would I ever do something like that? I don't know. I really enjoy talking sports. I have to practice a little bit. But I feel like I could talk sports for pretty much all day. Albert Bell or Fred McGriff? Back-to-back AAU national championship teams. I don't know if anyone remembers Tom Amansky, but anyways, I guess Fred McGriff. Albert Bell, I liked Albert Bell a lot, though. I really like when Albert Bell ran the second baseman over when he went to tag him. Both great players, though. I don't know who I'd take. Oh, I was pumped about the Super Bowl Big Dom stub. I made a little tiny bet at the beginning of the year that the Bucks were going to win the Super Bowl, and so I was pulling hard for them. Are the Mets going to win their division? They could. I'm going to say no, but I thought they were going to get Bauer. Peter Starzinski Tech, thank you so much for the super chat. How about Tom Brady again? He is the GOAT. I know, Pete. It's unbelievable. Every time, I was just sitting there in amazement. Like, how is this possible? I don't understand it. But it's pretty crazy. Cardinals are pretty stacked. Cardinals are getting pretty good. When is the show coming back? Well, I think I did a show episode a couple nights ago. I just don't have enough time right now to do an episode every couple of days because I have so much baseball going on. Stinkiest teammate? I don't know. I never really smelt my teammates. Padres are pretty nasty. Have I ever thought about playing overseas? Well, not anymore because I stink, but I thought about it a little bit during my playing days. A 1 to 10, how was MLB? A 10, I would say. I think it's one of the best jobs in the world. I'm not a Padres fan. Thoughts on the Blues, like the St. Louis Blues? Not sure. I don't follow hockey enough. Advice to maximize your power? Well, I think overall it comes down to your swing. And so you've got to use your body the right way. That would be my number one thing, is to really understand the swing and how you're moving. I'm a prime example of, I lost all my bat speed one year because my swing fell apart. Had nothing to do with my size or strength or speed or any of that stuff. It just had to do with my swing. M. Collins, 1881, thank you so much for the super chat. Best game you ever had in the MLB? Best game I ever had, I think I had 2 games that come to mind. One against the Giants. I started the game 3 for 3, I believe, against Matt Cain. What did I finish? 3 for 4, maybe? I think I might have lined out my last at bat. I think I was 3 for 4. And then against the Rockies, I think I was 3 for something against the Rockies, I think, with a home run maybe. Those were my 2 best games. Matt Cain was really, really good. He was. Got banged up there, injured, and then he kind of disappeared. At what age did I realize I had a shot at the majors? I would say probably like 22. Well, I mean, I got drafted at 21, and I got drafted in the first round. So the chances, I think maybe like 50% of first-round picks make the major league. So I had a 50-50 shot right there. So I guess I knew I had a chance. Have I ever played with Ryan Zimmerman? I have. I was with the Nationals with him, and then I never got called up that year, but he came down to AAA and played with us for like a week. So I got to know him a little bit there and play with him. Tom August, thank you again for the super chat. Is Randy Johnson hitting the bird the most rare thing to happen in sports history? That and Jose Canseco getting a ball hit off his head and then going out of the park for a home run. Those two were pretty rare. I would say Joe DiMaggio's hit streak. I would say Cal Ripken's consecutive game streak was pretty damn rare. I still don't know how he did that. The super chats are piling in here, guys. Hold on 1 second. Peter Starzinski, thank you again for the super chat. When are we going to see another stream Twitch? Not stream Twitch stream. That's a good question. I don't have the setup for it right now. Maybe when I get the setup going again, I could put a TV in here. I got my computer. So we'll see. It's a lot of setup to play. If I was going to do it every night or a lot, I would probably set it all up. But at this rate, it's been hard. I'm so busy. It's hard for me to even get YouTube videos out. So I just haven't had time to stream video games. David Holguin, thank you so much for the super chat. What is your take on short stature hitters? My take on short hitters? I don't know. I really don't have a take. I mean, if I was going to mold like the most perfect hitter, I'd probably pick like a guy that's like 6'4", 230. I'd probably pick like Josh Hamilton, someone that size. But when I think of short hitters, I think of Dustin Pedroia. I think of Jose Altuve, 2 obviously really, really great hitters. There's not a lot of really short hitters. It's just hard to be a great hitter if you're only like 5'7", 165 pounds or something, 175 pounds or whatever. I don't know how much they weighed, but it's easier if you're 6'4", 230. But good thing about baseball is you don't have to be big to be good at it. So Sully Smith, thank you so much for the super chat. Hey, does height matter in baseball? We kind of just hit on that. So, I mean, height matters. When scouts are looking at players, you know, if you're 5'8" and another kid's 6 foot or 6'2", and you guys, the scout thinks you guys are pretty equally talented, he's going to take the big guy pretty much 100% of the time. With that being said, if you're really good and you're small, you can still, you know, you just have to be really good. So, like I said, Dustin Pedroia, you know, I was a freshman in college when he was a junior at Arizona State, and we're in a tournament with him one time, and you know, it was my first tournament ever as a college player, and everyone was talking about this Dustin Pedroia guy for Arizona State. I remember going to the park, watching him, and he was like this big, and I was like, geez, look at this little guy out here. Like, and he was awesome. Like, he was making these awesome plays at shortstop and hitting lasers all over the field. Got drafted, I think, in the second round. He would have been a first-round pick if he wasn't little, but, you know, he got drafted, I think it was second round. And he was clearly awesome. He had an unbelievable career. So, I mean, just because you're small doesn't mean you can't play at a high level. Peter, thank you again for the super chat. Altuve does get help from time to time with the trash can, but yeah. Yeah, that did happen a little bit, yeah. I will still say that he's a great player, though. Oh, we got another super chat. How did I miss this? Evan, thank you so much for the super chat, Evan. Do you ever have to train your players how to deal with hecklers like the Happy Gilmore jackass guy? So we don't, just because, you know, we don't get really any hecklers. One thing in practice that I will do sometimes is try to make players a little nervous, like try to yell at them a little bit. And I think even if you don't have hecklers, you know, you do have to learn how to play with people watching you, even if it's just your teammates or just your parents, right? Because I think every player has thought about what other people are kind of thinking of them when they're playing. And, you know, I think you always play best when you can kind of eliminate that and not focus on it. So, or at least be comfortable with people watching you. Some players crumble when they know people are watching them, especially if they do something on the field that they feel is a little embarrassing, or, you know, they fail. And some players are great at failing and just, you know, whatever, and they get them the next time. Some players can't do that. So I think there is something to be said for practicing that in practice. You know, there's different pressures. The game pressure is different from practice pressure. And so it's hard to simulate the game other than being in the game, but you can try some things like having competitions. You know, that's a good way to put some pressure on the players so that there's something at stake. Because in the game, there's a lot at stake. In practice, you know, it's usually not a whole lot at stake. Rich Durbano, thank you so much for the super chat. I'm surprised that we've been flat since the end of 2020. Me too, Rich, but I hope you're still holding on to your Apple 150 right around the corner. I am holding on to it, and I don't know how long I'm going to hold on. I'm going to hold on to it for a longer period of time. I think eventually one day, Rich, we get the 200. How long is that going to take? I don't know, but I think we get there eventually, so I'm holding tight. Thank you for the super chat. John Putnam, thank you for the super chat. Where are you on the road to 400? So I just put up one, was it yesterday, John? No, I put one up on Super Bowl Sunday, but I don't know what today is. What's today? Tuesday? So I put one up on Sunday. I was at 88 miles an hour off the tee. I'm going to try a little something different next time. I was watching my back leg, and my best year of my career, 2007, I was kind of like really low to the ground, and I'm trying to get lower, but I was like really using my back leg well to be able to like turn my leg. When I was watching the video of me hitting on Sunday, I just didn't seem like I was using my lower half that great. So I was in the mirror today, like getting lower, and I think I feel my leg working better. So I'm going to try that, see if I can get above, see if that's the key to get to 90. Thank you, everyone, for the super chats. Tom Brady's the GOAT of football. Who's the GOAT of baseball currently and in all of baseball history? So the current GOAT of baseball, I mean, I guess you got to give it to Mike Trout. And then of all time in baseball, I don't know. There's a lot of guys that you could probably give it to. I think it's really tough to say exactly, but I think many people would consider Babe Ruth the best player of all time. There's so many good players that are great players. Ted Williams, one of the best hitters of all time. You've got Willie Mays. We don't have to go through every single player, but there's tons and tons of great players. We've got another super chat, everybody. It's from Rich Durbano again. Rich, a year from today, 200, book it. All right, Rich. So we'll check back a year from today. I think I believe you. I think with 5G starting to rock and roll here, and this quarter was huge. You got a couple more like that, and then, I say that probably, I hope a year from today we're at 200. That would be beautiful. But I'll check back with you, Rich. I'm sure I'll talk to you before a year from today, but we'll remember a year from today. What's today, February 9th? So let's check back on February 9th of 2022. We'll see where it's at. I'd be surprised if it's not at least close to 200. Will Barker, thank you so much for the super chat. What was your favorite MLB stadium to play in? So I only played in I don't know how many MLB stadiums I've played at. Maybe 8 stadiums or so, maybe 10. My favorite that I ever played at was probably Dodger Stadium for the atmosphere. It was a big stadium. The Dodgers were in the playoff race when we played them. And, they were full of really good players. So the atmosphere there was awesome. Probably my favorite moment in the major leagues was when Manny Ramirez hit a grand slam against us. It's kind of weird because he hit it against us, but I was still like, wow, this is a cool moment right now. The stadium went ballistic. It was so loud, like my head started to hurt. They were pumping the music, and Manny's rounding the bases, and people are going bananas, and it was awesome. And I was like at second base, and I was like, oh, sorry, I'm on the other team. I can't do that right now. But in my mind, I was doing that. Hey, Matt, you responded to me in Insta talking about coaches that doubted you. Please address that in front of everyone. Well, I don't remember what I said to you. I'm Braden. I'm sorry about that. But people have doubted me before. I doubted. I've had people say they were surprised. When I was younger, they were like, "Oh, I would have never thought that you'd get drafted really high and play in the major league and stuff." Which, of course, the chances of that happening are very, very low. So I don't think a lot of coaches probably don't expect their players to play at a really super high level. So, but I can't remember what else I said to you. I've never tried to let that really affect me. I will say I think it always helps as a player when you feel like your coach has confidence in you. And so some coaches are better than that at others of displaying their confidence or instilling confidence in their players. So I think that's important. I always try to do that as a coach. I don't want my players to think that I don't believe that they're going to do well, because that affects their confidence. So I'm not ignoring a super chat. I'm answering a question right now. I will get to the super chat in a second, though. Now I lost my train of thought. But what was I talking about? Oh, yeah, so I'm trying to, even simple things like body language at third base. If I'm a third base coach, I've been there before. I've had certain coaches where you do something at the plate, you look down at the third base coach, and he's like this. And you're sitting there at the plate, and you're like, well, I really stink right now. Look at how my coach is acting down there. So I try not to do that. I try to always at least look, even if I'm pissed inside, even if in my head I'm like, what is this guy doing right now? I try to present myself in a way that is displaying confidence to whoever the hitter is and the players. All right, let's get back to the super chats, guys. David Holligan, thank you again for the super chat, David. What the hell? Sex before the game can affect the performance of a player. I don't know if I can get into that right now, Dave. I'm not really sure on the science. You'd have to ask a doctor. But I appreciate the super chat. Laura's still on a CIA secret mission. I think Laura's retired from the CIA and everything. She kind of just watches Grey's every night, so I think she's a TV show critic. So just so our coach mentioned sort of box. Yeah, so I've had so here's what they mean. So when you get into your stance right here, this right here, so I call it a triangle, like your arm, and across the chest. But I've had coaches call that the circle. I've had coaches call it a square. I've had coaches call it a box. And so, if you think about that shape, when you start to turn like this to hit that box or triangle or square or whatever, it's going to start to turn. And what they mean when they say keep the box is basically like you don't want like your arms to work kind of independently. You don't want like this arm to do this and this arm not do anything, because that mess up the box. So they should work together like this. So that's turning that box or triangle or whatever. Let's see here. Mustali, is that how you say it? Thank you so much for the super chat. There's no question though. It just says just has a super chat. So I'm not sure if you had a question or not, but there is not one there. Let's see here. My shoe size is it's weird. I always wore a 13 shoe my whole life, and then as I've gotten older, I feel like my feet are shrinking. But I think I have a 12.5 shoe now. Any tips on getting bigger? I mean, the easiest ways to get bigger are to eat and to work out, I think. Hey, DC, what's going on? So that's how I've gotten bigger. And to get taller, you put your height there. To get taller, we can hang you upside down and then pull on your head really hard, try to stretch you out. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't try that. But to get bigger as far as like put on weight, eating and working out. Figure out how many calories you're taking in, and if you want to get bigger than that, you got to take in more calories than you're burning. Do you like the way Bauer handled his decision? I didn't really follow it very much until he finally signed, so I'm not 100% sure. I know some Mets fans were writing to me, and they were saying that he made it sound like you signed with the Mets, but I'm not 100% sure. I didn't follow enough. Oh, there we go. Mustali, thank you so much. Hopefully I'm saying your name right. Do you collect your own baseball cards? I do not collect my own baseball cards, but people give them to me. So like this one right here, I have, here's one of my signed cards, a graded card of mine. This was given to me by, hold on one second. Let me put that back. I got a couple more cards down there. What was I saying? Oh, that card was given to me by Jared Sinatra, who's a player on our team. So, and I get other cards. People will just send me cards. Some will send it to me to sign. Some will send and just say, hey, keep them. So, we've got Stocky in the house. What's up? What's a good infield velo like across the diamond? It depends on your age. So it's hard to really say. How often do I get recognized in public? I only really get recognized in public at baseball events. I would say pretty much every baseball event I go to, somebody says, hey, man, like your YouTube channel. But that's about it. I don't think I've been, I was going to say I haven't been eating at a restaurant and gotten noticed lately, but I haven't been to a restaurant lately because they're not really open. Well, I guess they are. Some of them are open. I haven't gone. How hard did you throw in your prime? I never really got my velo taken across the diamond. I know that in high school, my hardest pitching velo, I believe, was 91 miles an hour my senior year. When do our teams start? We start our games in April. But that's if there's no snow on the ground. We've been getting a lot of snow lately, so. How many ABs in spring training? did I need to get ready? I would say probably, I don't think I needed that many. The first couple ABs feel really weird in spring training, but I feel like after like about 10, 15 at-bats, you start feeling pretty good. I don't think it takes that many. Lakeside Baseball Club, I don't think so. Hey, Matt and Mobile Guy, you're new? What's going on? For pitching, is 67 good for 11-year-old? Yeah, it sounds good to me. Hey, thanks, Robert. Oh, I forgot to ask everyone. Can everyone hit the like button? Oh, good point there. I've gone 25 minutes and I forgot to tell you guys or ask you guys to hit give the video a like. Could everyone give the video a like? That's okay, D. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. Craziest play I ever made in my career was in the Cape Cod League. Made a running over the shoulder head catch without seeing the ball go in my glove. It was pretty good. Do we play in tournaments? Yeah, we play in lots of tournaments. I'm going to Georgia this year for a tournament, and my team usually goes to Jersey and Georgia, and then local tournaments. 75? It's pretty good, Takumi. The best bid, now you feel bad. Why'd you say it then? Best baseball advice I ever gotten? I'm not really sure what the best baseball advice. I've been given, obviously, a ton of advice over my career. We actually go to Delaware also for a tournament. Our younger teams do. So, but best baseball advice? I don't know. I give the simplest advice ever because it is very simple, but it is probably most important. I tell everyone, like, when people are like, what can you tell me to get better, man, and to play at a high level? I'm like, I always think, like, if you have fun and work hard, you will get better and play at a higher level than you're at now. That's like that's the easiest advice I can give you. That's all I really thought about as a player. I really had fun practicing and playing, and I tried to get better. When I was practicing, I really worked hard to get better, as hard as I could work. And it was fun doing it. And those two together made me play for a long time. Do you think a freshman can make varsity? Sure. Every school is a little different, but I think so. Best advice to play over an upperclassman, you just gotta be better than them. That's it. If your coach thinks that you give the team the best opportunity to win, they'll play you. Now, some coaches favor older players over younger players, but they can only do that for so long. They might do it at first, and if you continue to show them that you're going to help the team win more than the other guy, eventually most coaches will say, okay, I gave the older guy a chance, and now I got to go with the better player. Hey, RC from the NYC, what's going on? What's up, Matt? Hey, Laura, what's up, Chad? Hope everyone is well. 7 days until pitchers and catchers report. It's only 7 days, RC? Wow. And 51 days until opening day. Nice. Man, that's crazy. 7 days? I didn't realize that. I keep forgetting we're already in February. That is amazing. Can't wait. Is Bauer overrated, yes or no? I think that Bauer's a great pitcher. Now, you know, most people are going to say no pitchers are worth $40 million a year or whatever, and that's fair if you want to say that, but I think he's a really good pitcher, so. John Putnam, thank you so much for the super chat, John. I have a Hack Attack Pro. Is that unsafe for kids? No, we use Hack Attacks for every age kid. I mean, my son's 6 and he's hit off the Hack Attack, and in my experience of using it, we've used it for, I don't know, 8 years now, and I've never had a player ever get hit with a ball or anything. So yeah, I think it's very safe. JQ Frutos, thank you so much for the super chat, JQ. Once you become a pro player, do you lose your fandom for a team you grew up loving? Go Padres. Yeah, absolutely. I've made a video about this, but I was a huge Red Sox fan growing up. Like huge. Like I watched every game. I never missed games. You know, when I was a kid and the Red Sox lost, I wanted to cry. Sometimes I probably did cry. And I don't follow the Red Sox at all anymore. I stopped following them after 2007. I got drafted in 2006, and I tried to follow them a little bit while I was playing, but you know, I'm playing every night, so I can't watch the Red Sox play at the same time. And that you do that for long enough and you just lose track of who's on the team and how they're doing, and that's it. You know, it's like I don't know, if you're a Yankees fan and all of a sudden someone told you, listen, for the next year you can't watch any games. You're not going to watch any games. You're not going to follow the team. After a certain amount of time, you're just going to. I'm assuming most people will just stop. Well, you're going to lose interest, you know. And so when I'm playing, I can't watch them, and I played for 8 years, so I basically went 8 years without really being able to watch the Red Sox play. Does Tatis deserve to be on the cover of MLB The Show 21? I did a video on this actually, but yeah, I think so. I think he's a great player. I think he's a very popular player. I think he's a very exciting player. And what better, I mean, that's who you want on the cover, someone that is a lot of people like, a lot of people want to watch. Is Justin Turner a great fit for the Mets? Well, I think Justin Turner, he's a little bit older, but I think he can still play. And yeah, I think he is a nice fit. David Pike, thank you so much for the super chat, David. What was your favorite spring training city? Mine was Chandler, Arizona. I played 6 years of pro baseball. Chandler, huh? So I've been in Chandler. I like Chandler. You know, my favorite spring training city. Well, I like Scottsdale a lot, but I never played for the Giants. But I enjoyed. You know, we would go to Scottsdale a lot when I played. I was in Peoria for 5 years. I liked Peoria a lot. I liked Arizona more than Florida. And Florida, I was in Sarasota, which actually Sarasota was great because Lars' dad lives in Sarasota. I actually lived with him when I played with the Orioles there. And so that was nice. We go there every year, so I know Sarasota well. But I like Arizona more. Thoughts on the Detroit Tigers? Well, I think that they're going to be rebuilding for a little bit here, but they will be an interesting organization to watch as, you know, some of their draft picks and some of their younger players start to get a little bit older, and it'll be interesting to see what they end up doing. Matt, I'm new to the sport. Can you tell me if Louisville Slugger Omaha series drop 10 bat is good? So I am not, I mean, we have so many kids and they all use different bats and everybody tells me that they love their bats. So I don't really know because I don't swing them, you know, so I just watch other kids hit. So I don't know if it's a good bat or not, but I would assume a Louisville Slugger bat is probably pretty good. But again, I'm not an expert in little kids' bats. I don't know if I would say axe bats are better for you, but I mean, they do what they claim that they're a little bit better for like your hamate bone and stuff, which I broke mine. Can I please mic up Jack during a game? There'd probably be a lot of beeps in it, but yeah, I can try to do that. How did the guys on varsity treat you when you were a freshman, sophomore in high school? It depends. I think that... I think it depends on the type of team you have. Now, I only have experience on one team as a freshman playing on varsity, or one high school team. But it depends on I don't know. I guess it does depend on the kids. So when I played high school, my baseball team, I was a freshman. When I got called up to varsity, I got put right in the lineup, and we won a state championship that year. So I kind of went in and just took an older kid's spot. And, but they weren't that bad about it. I remember we were trying to win a championship, so I think we all wanted to win. Now, football, I didn't like our group of football players. I remember, I've told this story before, and I have a super chat. I'll get to that in 1 second. I have, in football, my first time in the huddle, when I was a freshman, I ran into the huddle. They sent me in, and I had to take a player out. I was running as a wide receiver, so I ran in. I didn't know what to say with him. I was just like, hey, I forget the kid's name. I don't know, Jeremy or whatever. I'm like, hey, Jeremy, I'm in for you or whatever. And then he turned and he was like, hey, Jeremy, I'm in for you. And then everyone in the huddle kind of giggled. And I was like, I wanted to punch him in the face, but I didn't. And I just made sure I scored a lot of touchdowns so that he wouldn't play again. But I don't know where that kid is now. I don't even know his name. But anyways, I didn't like that very much. And then hockey. Hockey was probably my best sport as a freshman. And so the hockey kids never gave me trouble because I was, out of all the sports, I probably belonged on the hockey varsity the most. And I don't know, I think they thought I was a pretty good player, so they didn't really mess with me. Rynov, 34. Thank you so much for the super chat. Is youth high school baseball too individualized? What do you mean by individualized? Hold on one sec. If you could put that in the live chat, what you mean by individualized? But do you mean like players are focusing just on baseball too much? Is that what you mean? Oh, I got you. Focus more on recruiting than on winning. Yeah, I would say that. So I would say as far as recruiting or winning, I do think there's been a huge shift to the recruiting part of things for players really young. You know, I'll have players in like the 7th grade talk to me about recruiting. And unfortunately, that is a big part of it. I shouldn't say unfortunately, but that is a big part of it. And it's just different now. The problem really, I think, and this would be great if this changed, but when I was playing, people didn't get recruited until their senior year, pretty much. You know, like I didn't get recruited until the very end of my junior summer going into my senior year. So when you're playing, you know, travel ball or you're playing high school ball, you're not getting recruited. So the only thing you're worried about is winning, which was awesome. The problem nowadays is like freshmen in high school are getting recruited. So it's hard to tell a freshman, like, don't worry about getting recruited, just worry about winning, when they could be getting recruited. They see other guys getting recruited. And so that's the problem. I wouldn't blame the players. I don't blame the players for thinking about that. I don't blame the coaches for, you know, trying to, because players are getting recruited. So I think you got to try to keep a balance. I think the entire system, as far as how recruiting goes, needs to be changed where, you know, I just don't think there should be freshmen in high school getting committed this early. I think that's kind of silly. I think a lot of colleges are changing their mind and you know, they're verbally committing guys as freshmen, and then those kids never end up at the school, or they end up at the school, but by the time they get there, they're not good enough anymore, and then they transfer out. If you look at all the transfers in college now, there's so many transfers. So I think something needs to be changed. I'm not a big enough expert to know how to do it all, but I just liked the way when I played. I focused on winning my whole career, and then I got recruited. Recruiting was like this little tiny sliver of my high school career. Hey Jason, what's going on? Thanks. Welcome to the channel. What's a day in the life of an MLB player or college? I'll give you a quick kind of the schedule looks like. And if everyone, while I'm doing this, could everyone give this video a thumbs up? Let's see if we can get to like 200 likes. That would be awesome if you like the video. So let's talk real fast about like a daily day in the life of a major league player. Let's say games at 7:05. I'd probably get to the stadium around 1 o'clock usually. So I would wake up probably about I would say I'd probably wake up around like 10, maybe around like 10 o'clock, eat breakfast, do whatever, hang out. And then I head down to get some lunch and head to the field, or eat at the field. And then you get there at 1, you know, you kind of relax for a little bit, get loose, maybe eat something. You're going to get stretched out, go hit in the batting cage a little bit, and then get ready for BP. You hit BP, come in from BP. You're going to... I would usually get another snack or something. I'd take a shower. I'd get my uniform on. I'd get stretched out again. Go out and get ready to play at around 6:40. Get stretched out. Play the game at 7:05. Game ends at 10:05. You know, 10 o'clock. Come in, maybe work out, get a bite to eat. You know, you probably get back to your apartment or whatever around like midnight or 1 o'clock. Relax, watch TV. You know, whatever you do for fun, and then go to bed around 2. 1:32, wake up at 10. That was usually my schedule. Thanks, Billy. My thought process in the box, my approach was usually get a fastball to hit and try to drive it up the middle of the field. It changes depending on the situation and who you're facing and all that stuff and how you're feeling at the plate. But a general approach or thought process in the box is that Hank Aaron or Babe Ruth, well, both great players. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you can decide. I guess Babe Ruth, but Hank Aaron, one of the best players of all time. Do MLB umpires hold grudges? I'm tired. Well, I don't think any umpire tries to hold a grudge, but I don't know. They're human, so I'm sure that something's happened where they might have, but I don't think they try to. Alrighty, let's see. Thoughts on the White Sox? I like the White Sox a lot. I think they're going to be really good. I think they have a chance to go to the World Series. Aaron Judge, overrated or underrated? I think Aaron Judge is a great player. His biggest issue so far has been being able to stay healthy and at times strikeouts. But I think he's super talented. I think if he can stay healthy, he'll have a huge year. What grades do you need for D1 baseball? Well, it's going to depend on the college you're looking to go at because there's so many different colleges. But to be eligible, I'm not even sure exactly what it is. I would try to get above a 2.0. But then it depends on the school. Tom Brady's the GOAT. Yep. Perfect Game or Prep Baseball Report? I think they're both good. I don't know which one is better, but I think they both are pretty good. Is 3.3 or 3.4 GPA in high school good? Yeah, I think that's good. It's more than just GPA, though. It also depends on the high school you go to. It depends on the type of classes you take. If you're a 3.3 and you take all, CP or whatever your high school calls like the easiest classes, versus if you're a 3.3 but you take, honors classes and some AB classes, and that's probably different. Colleges want to see that you challenge yourself and you don't try to just take the easy way out of the easy courses. Arenado with the Cards, I made a video on that. I think it's, a great pickup for the Cardinals. Anytime you can get one of the best third basemen of all time, a guy that's going to probably go to the Hall of Fame unless he has some crazy injury, that's a huge pickup. My favorite baseball player, I don't really have a favorite, but I like watching Juan Soto, I like watching Tatis, I like watching Mookie Betts, Mike Trout. I like watching Lindor. Can you give me a stone cold stunner? I'd rather not, but Bauer to the Dodgers, great pickup for the Dodgers. You get another stud pitcher. I'm not sure if I've been here on purpose. Who's winning the World Series this year? I mean, I think you have to go with the Dodgers. They won it last year, and they just got a Cy Young Award winner, so. These questions are coming in fast. I'm trying to read them. I'll give you guys a tip. The tip when you write a question is to keep it short as possible. Because if it's really long, by the time I try to read it, it's already out of the screen. How often do you feel 100% physically when you played? Well, usually players will say the only day they felt 100% is the first day of spring training, and after that you don't. And it's pretty true. I don't think you really ever feel 100%. You get used to as a baseball player, one of the things is you have to get used to playing tired and sore and sometimes even a little bit hurt. So, no. How can I say this? No one can appreciate. That's not how you say it. It is very hard to understand what it feels like to play every single day basically for 6 months straight. It's hard. You can't ever imagine, you won't know unless you do it, is essentially what I'm trying to say. No matter what I thought professional baseball is going to be like, it's harder on your body than whatever you think. It's going to be harder. I'm doing a horrible job of explaining this, but I'm just telling you, like, you are exhausted, you're sore a lot. You just do the same thing every single day for, when you put spring training together with the regular season, and then if you are lucky enough to go to the playoffs, you're doing it 200 days in, like, if you're in the minor leagues, it's like 210 days. If you're in the major leagues, you get a few more off days, but my favorite current Padres player is Tatis. Fielding practice? Well, if you're going to deflect the ball, you're going to catch it below the fingers. If you're just going to catch the ball, you're going to catch it, pretty much on your fingers. Did my dad play baseball? Yeah, he did, and he played in college. We played up to college. And then when he got out of college, he continued to play in, like, a local league. I'm not sure exactly what you would call it, but how do you get a short swing? Essentially, when I think of a short swing, I think of my upper body not making this move, not getting really rotational with your upper body, because if you get real rotational, you'll get out and around the ball. So having an upper body that when you go is just going to work back this way a little bit more. So you're kind of getting, like, out of your shoulders rotating, and you're able to be here, and then you get palm up with your top hand, palm down your bottom hand, and now you're able to stay inside the ball. Would I consider Patrick Mahomes rookie card if the price drops? I would. I was actually talking to Juan about this. I don't know how much the card's going to drop. It ran up pretty good there into the Super Bowl. I know some of his cards have already started to drop, so I'm keeping my eye on it. I think Mahomes is going to be, this is not an earth-shattering statement here, I know some people don't like him, like with any player, but he should be the best player in the league for the next 10 years, or at least have a chance to be the best player in the league for the next 10 years. So there's not a lot of players that can say that. Wow, those questions are fast. Hold on. Any tips on how to not move my bat when I swing? I'm not really sure exactly what you mean. You need your bat to move. You mean, like, not to, like, wiggle it around like this? Everyone's got different rhythms, and so whereas one guy might just kind of be still, other guys are moving their bat like this. Some players like to tip their bat, and some players like to pump their hands. And so Matt Antonelli or John Madden? I think you know the answer to that. D, what's wrong, D? You sound upset again. What's wrong? My longest home run? I'm not sure. My longest home run was probably hit, I told this story at Rancho Cucamonga. Someone's going to have to Google it. I hit it out of the stadium over the scoreboard in left center field, but I don't know how far that is. What can I do if you're from Puerto Rico and I want to play D1 baseball? We should ask Juan. Juan's from Puerto Rico, but I think that video is the easiest thing. You need to make a video of yourself and be able to send that to schools so that they can watch you and see if you're someone that could fit at their program. And then you're probably going to have to get to that area to at least play in a tournament or play at their college camp or something like that so they can see you in person. Did I grow up in Italy? I did not grow up in Italy, no. My grandparents grew up in Italy, and then they moved to America when they were in their 20s. And then my dad was born here, and he spent his summers, I believe, in Italy. And then I've only been to Italy once. Oh, your coach tells you your bat's not in the same place, so you must kind of wiggle your bat. I don't think that you have to stand there just completely like this. If you're going to have bat movement, then you do have to make sure that your timing is to the point where you can get here, like into this spot to launch from consistently. I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't tell you that your bat wasn't getting in the same spot. I would say that you're just late. You need to, because if you're going to hit from here and sometimes you're here and sometimes you're here, well, if you're here, you're not ready on time. You're not ready to hit. I'm not going to tell you to not move your bat as much. I'm just going to tell you probably to get ready earlier. Make sure you're ready. What's your take on women playing professional sports? You mean like trying to play like Major League Baseball or in the NFL or something? I think if you're good enough to play, then you're good enough to play. I always use a normal knob at the end of my bat and use an axe bat, but they've become more popular now. How do you hit a major league curveball? You just see it a lot, and the more you see certain pitches, the easier they get. It's like when you're younger, you see a fastball at like 75 at a certain age, you're like, I could never hit that. But then there becomes a time when 75 is slow, and then you think, 85, I can't hit that. And then, if you play long enough, 85 becomes slow, and then you think, well, 95, I could never hit that. And then there comes a time when 95 is like, that never really becomes slow, but it becomes hittable. Thoughts on benching? What do you mean on benching? I'm not sure exactly what you mean. Like being on the bench? Best Padre story? Man, I have a lot of Padre stories. My best one probably involves something with Brian Giles. Oh, benching as in bench press. I don't have anything wrong with the bench press. I never really max benched. If I was going to go heavy, it would be probably like 4 to 6 reps. But yeah, I don't have a problem with benching. I did a lot of dumbbell benching, not straight bar, but do I have any tips on getting back into baseball as a 13-year-old? Yeah, get back into baseball. Like, honestly, just play. I get that question from all ages, how do I get back to playing? Just play. How do I practice? Just practice. Find someone that can, you can play catch something easy. You play catch with, I did a lot of training with just either my dad or my friends, or a friend. I throw him BP, he throws me BP. I want to pitch, he catches. He wants to pitch, I catch. Are there good D2 colleges anywhere? Yeah, there's tons of D2 colleges that are good. What to do better in lockdown? Your friend could become a wall and just throw the ball off the wall, field it. Find a tee, or when I was a kid, I found a traffic cone to use as a tee and use that. So, yeah, MLB players get insurance. They get really good insurance. Only while you're playing, though. A lot of people ask me if I still have my insurance. I don't. A rebounder net, I do. I have one in my garage right now, and I've got a couple. I've got one at our facility, and so if you don't have a wall, you can get a rebounder. I never really caught a whole lot, so I can't say what catcher's mitts I like. When I played, I liked an all-star mitt, but I've had a good Wilson mitt, and it's a little personal preference. Thoughts on no expanded playoffs this year? I'm not like a huge expanded playoffs fan. I don't like too many teams in the playoffs. I know that gives more cities and more people a chance for their team to make it, but I want the regular season to mean as much as possible. Especially in baseball, where it's such a long regular season. We have a super chat, everyone. Let's see what that super chat is. Tom August, thank you so much for the super chat, Tom. Is it possible for a small 11-year-old who throws 50 to have big growth spurt and throw 80 by 15? Yeah, I would say and throw what? How hard? 80 by 15. So 80 at 15 is fast. So, I don't know if that's possible, but anything's possible, right? Isn't that what Nike says? So anything is possible. We've had a lot of players that have made huge jumps. And some is because of a growth spurt. Some jumps are because, they figure something out mechanically, or a combination of both. So, yeah, I think it could happen. You keep hurting your knee sliding. Hurting your knee as in like scraping up your knee, like you rip open your knee when you slide, or you actually hurt your knee. You shouldn't hurt your knee sliding. You want to try to slide on your butt as much as you can, so you're not digging your knee into the ground. I like long toss, yeah. How to get into coaching? It depends on what level you want, but I would just reach out to people. When I wanted to get into coaching, I just called people. The biggest surprising thing for me actually is when I got out of playing. I played for 8 years, and then I started calling people to get into college coaching, and everyone was like, good luck. We have no interest in you since you've never coached before. And I had this idea in my head that I was going to be able to get out of playing and get into coaching, because I said, well, I haven't coached, but I've played at a high level. I've played for some really good coaches, and I feel like I could be a coach pretty quickly. But, people want to see you have success first and show that you can coach. And some people want you to kind of earn it a little bit and not just jump into coaching over people that have been coaching for a while. So I got lucky and was able to go to Wake Forest. Coach Walter at Wake Forest allowed me to be a student assistant coach for a year, and then Coach DeCenzo at Holy Cross let me be his hitting coach for a year, and that really helped me get into college coaching. And then I decided I was going to do Antonelli baseball instead. So, but I would just call people that call people that you don't know actually too. I called people I don't know, and worst comes to worst, just coach. Even if it's at a low level, just get into coaching and you'll learn stuff. Like I learned lots of stuff coaching our 11-year-olds that you can then take. Even if you want to coach at a higher level, you can take what you learn there and apply it to older kids. Happy Gilmore. I tried a Happy Gilmore. It doesn't make me hit any harder. But I'm going to get to 90. Don't worry. I am in Massachusetts. Yeah. Can I name 5 colleges to play good college baseball? I mean, I could name a lot more than 5. There's 298 maybe D1 colleges. You can go to d1baseball.com and get every single one of them. But you keep asking me, so I'm going to name 5 for you. I'll name 5. You're asking me again. I'll name 5 colleges just in the ACC, which was the conference I played in. Hi, Wilfrain. So you got Wake Forest, you got Georgia Tech, you got Florida State, you got Virginia, you got UNC Chapel Hill. There you go. There's 5. Those aren't good schools, though. Those are like great schools, but same thing. Miss you too, Will. A lot of questions on arms hurting. So I don't think your arm should ever hurt. Like you should never throw the ball like, like that's not good. But, my arm was sore a lot during my career, especially if you're playing every single day. So if you're getting pain, there's something going on in there, and I would get that checked. I would go see a doctor. I am unfortunately not a doctor, and I did not stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night, so I'm not the best person to ask. Thanks, North of 7. I appreciate that. Tryout tips. I'll give you a couple tryout tips real quick. Here's my tryout tips just off the top of my head. I would, 1, make sure I do a really good job of being at the front of the line, about not goofing around and talking with my buddies. I'd probably stay away from my buddies. I'd look professional. I'd, wear a baseball hat and keep my shirt tucked in. And, when coach is asking for someone to set up the field or help pick up a bucket of balls or something, I'd make sure I'm the one doing that. And then when it came to the drills, I would just play my game and not try to do anything to impress anyone. I wouldn't try to do too much. Some players get all nervous. They work themselves up because they're like, oh man, I got to make this play. Oh, I got to do this so well. And it's just like, or they try to do more than they're capable of. You work really hard up the tryouts, and then you just then try out and just be yourself and do as well as you can do and play hard. And that's all you can do. Did I play with a guy named Matthew Pero at Wake? I didn't play with him. I coached him, though. EJ Slem, thank you so much for the super chat. I'm planning a trip to Aruba and Curacao. Did you play with any Dutch players, and who is the best player from there? I think it's Bogarts or Elbies. Yeah, both great players. I'm trying to think if I played with any. Not 100% sure. But I'd like to go to Aruba or Curacao. I went to Aruba. When did I go to Aruba? It's been more than a few years ago now. I went to Aruba 8 years ago, maybe? Man, it doesn't feel that long ago, but I like Aruba a lot. Thoughts on Bauer picking the Dodgers? I thought he was going to pick the Mets, actually, but I can't blame him for picking the Dodgers. Great team, great organization, got paid a lot of money. Nice, sunny Southern California. Yeah, I'll do that. All right, everyone, we're going to go for about one more minute because I've been on here for about an hour and I got a bunch of work. Wolf Rain asks, how do I make a college roster? That's a great question. Hit nukes. That's how you make a roster. Hit nukes. What should your walk-up song be? Whatever makes you most confident, puts you in the best state of mind possible. I think when you're walking to the plate, oh, good, tell them I said hello. I think when you're walking to the plate, you need to walk with like a lot of confidence. And so walk-up music is an interesting way to kind of feel that. So that's all, at least what I always thought. I always thought, like, I want music on that's going to make me feel like a badass when I'm walking to the plate. Yes, Anson baseball tryouts did pass. Our tryouts were in August. So we already have our teams picked. A pitch clock? Yeah, I think the speed of the game does need to pick up a little bit. I think a pitch clock could help. I guess I'd have to watch a game with it being used, though. Thoughts on the Mets? I think the Mets are really good. I think they've got a chance to... I thought if they got Bauer, they were going to be like legit World Series contenders. They're still really good. I think they could probably... I haven't been following lately, but, their defense wasn't great last year, was it? Strengthen your arm? I mean, throwing is going to strengthen your arm, I think. A lot of players don't throw enough, especially in the offseason. I got in a conversation, someone yelling at me for having kids throw in the offseason. It's like, if you want to get better at throwing, you got to throw. If you want to throw the ball faster, you got to throw the ball fast. It's not even that complicated. That's not complicated at all. Teddy, you already asked me about how hurting your knee sliding. I already answered that one. $14.7 seconds home to home for my 11-year-old son. Who in the bigs would be equivalent to that? I have no idea. I've never timed a player from home to home. So I can't tell you. I'm sorry about that, though. Thoughts on the Tigers? I talked about this a little bit earlier, but I think the Tigers are rebuilding, obviously, but it'll be... I'm getting really tired, everybody. Thanks, Robert. I think the Tigers will be an interesting team to follow over the next few years to see how some of these draft picks work out, and if they can get back to being. I mean, they were really good for a while there. They had a lot of studs back in the day. Are bicep curls good? I don't think bicep curls are bad. I don't think you should just go in the gym and do bicep curls all day long and that's it. But just like a pushing, just like you have to press something, you got to pull something. You're going to do something for your triceps, you got to do something for your biceps. So a 60-yard dash is an outdated way of player assessment. Well, I think it gives you an idea of how fast a player is. Could you do it different ways? Like, yeah, I mean, home the first time will help, but a little bit of that is how quickly a player gets out of the box. So I think it is a way to evaluate a player. Could they have a better way? Yes, possibly. But listen, if you tell me that you're a 6'5" runner and a 60-yard dash, I know that means you're fast. And if you're a 7'3" runner or 7'2" runner, I know you're not that fast. You're welcome, Scott. I never had a 4-hit game in my major league career. I had a 6-hit game in the minor leagues, which was fun, but never in the major leagues 4-hit game. What metal bat would I recommend for an 11-year-old? There are so many metal bats I would, and they're all so different. I get asked this a ton by people all the time. What bat should I buy my son? And I always say, I don't know anything about them. I would bring them to a store if you can that has a lot of bats and let them feel the bat, swing the bat. See, every bat, some are end loaded and some are balanced and some are more handle, loaded. And so they're all going to feel different. So see what's comfortable for him. We have certain players. You get 2 players, you give them each a bat. One guy goes, oh, I love this bat. And the next player goes, I hate the feel of this bat. So that's why it's really hard to say. All right, last question, everybody. Oh, we got to get the 200 likes, actually. Can everyone like this video real quick? We got to get the 200 likes before I go. Favorite baseball books? I just got a new baseball book. Augie Garrido book I just got. I might go read that later tonight when I go to sleep. But my favorite, Moneyball is a great book. Do I think baseball is getting less popular? Well, that's what they're telling me. I still like baseball as much as ever, but they say that the kids aren't into baseball as much anymore. That could be true. I think baseball has to continue to do things that allow young players to just make the game a little bit more exciting. Even if that's stuff they're doing on social media and ways that they're getting games to young kids, could probably all improve. What makes me mad? This is what makes me mad. When I want to promote the game of baseball, because if I want to show, talk about Mike Trout hitting a home run last night, and then I want to make a video and saying or a great play he made, right? And I want to say, hey, look at this unbelievable play by Mike Trout. If I do that, if I show that and put on YouTube I put on YouTube, I get a copyright thing that says you can't do that. I just feel like that's silly. I want to talk about the game and talk about a player. Why can't I put it on? Why can't I show the play? Anyways. Thanks, George. All right, everybody. That's all we have for tonight. Stop telling people to swing up, then the game will be fun again. No, I don't know about that. I think that I'm going to give you, this will be the last thing. The reason why major league teams and the reason why players are trying to swing up, which is on the same path as the pitch, is because that allows them to hit the ball the hardest and do the most damage, which is what you want to do as a hitter. people think that because hitters are swinging slightly more up, that they're striking out more and the game's boring. The reason guys are striking out more is because the pitching has never been better in the history of the game. And that's the truth. Every pitcher is throwing 95 and higher now. Every pitcher has off-speed pitches that are nasty, nastier than ever before. Now, you're going to name a couple pitchers from way back in the day that were nasty, and no doubt about it, they were nasty. But the guy coming out of the bullpen back in 1976, all those guys were not like these bullpen guys. Please don't tell me that. Anyone that played in 1976 says, oh, our bullpen's better than these bullpens. And there's so many more teams now too, right? Like, the guys are nasty. The game, players are more talented than ever before. That's in every sport. So I don't like when people are like, guys aren't good anymore. Like, oh, in 1964, our guys were better. Like, no, they're better now. And they just are. You can train more. There's just better everything. So the game evolves, but the players are getting better. And the pitching is outrageous, okay? I see it in college. I see it everywhere. So 1977, we were badasses. I have no doubt you were badasses, but the players today were more talented than players today overall are more talented than players before. It had nothing to listen. In 30 years, the players in 30 years are going to be more talented than the players today, and so that's just the way it is. Everyone evolves and everyone continues to get better. But look at how many pitchers throw 100 miles an hour now. It's ridiculous. All right, it is just absolutely ridiculous. So that's my rant on that. It's not even a rant. It's just like everyone says, like the game, there's too many strikeouts now. Yeah, well, the pitchers are awesome now. It's not just because the hitters are trying to hit the ball, the ballpark. Some of them are. But I'm sorry, the guy that played back then that hit 300 and all he could do was just chop the ball and just like hit 300, but he never hit a double in his life and he couldn't hit any home run. Like, that player's not valuable. They wouldn't be in the big leagues now, because now that people are, you've got really smart people looking at numbers and figuring out what's the best way to score runs. That's the name of the game, score runs. What's the best way? Being able to hit 300 with all singles is not valuable anymore. Those guys would adjust to the pitching. They would try to adjust to the pitching, but they're not better than today's hitters, is what I'm saying to you. Players today are better. It's not a put down to those other players. And someone's going to say, well, Hank Aaron, well, yeah, of course he would. He's one of the best players ever played. But I'm just saying the majority of the players are better now than they were before. And in 20 years, they'll be better then than they are now. And in 50 years, they'll be better then than they are in 20 years. And that's the way everything works, every sport. How many guys back then were 6'4", 235, solid muscle? Like, there weren't a whole lot of those guys. And today, guys are more physical, they're bigger, they're stronger, they're faster in every freaking sport. That's all I have. That's the last thing I'll say. Thanks again, everyone, for watching. And we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks so much. Have a great night.